I live in Lowndes County, Georgia, in a trailer set up on cinder blocks, looking out at a long wall of pines planted in rows like an army. Out here everybody's got a V8, everybody's got a dog, half the men shave their heads and grow goatees, and every yard's got a no trespassing sign full of shotgun holes. If you ain't from around here, you're probably from the city, and you'll laugh, but we've only got two kinds of nightlife, Waffle House and hog hunting. We grew up shooting Bud Light cans, gulping down Gatorade like holy water after the fields. And if somebody calls past midnight and says, "Come on, the little moose are eating bread," you know by sunrise we'll be knee-deep in mud, dust, blood, and happy about it. This is the story of the night I first realized something out in our pines was hunting us. And no, I don't mean a bear, I mean people. Or what's left of people who've lived too long on the far side of those signs. It started one August night, heat still hanging heavy even at 2 a.m. I was out with Earl, neighbor across the pond, drives an OR3 F-150 with a Trump 2020 sticker still on the door, and Took, short for Tucker, the guy with a thermal scope and a suppressor, practically worshipped by every varmint in the county. We headed out to Plum Creek Plantation. Technically private land, but at night we always said the same thing. Hogs don't read signs. We rolled out around 11, filled up at Circle K, grabbed 2 packs of Marlboro Reds, a can of Copenhagen for Earl, 3 Mountain Dews for Took, he's got a sweet tooth like a squirrel, and turned down County Road 136, where pavement gives up to ruts full of water. At the cut that turns into a fire break, Took flipped on the thermal. I don't know how that thing works, but looking through it is like watching an old black and white TV. Anything alive just burns white. We crept forward slow, lights off. You learn to see like a cat at night, the white flicker of pine bark cracking on either side, endless and identical. You wouldn't have seen a thing, but we saw 2 white dots, like eyes, hanging at waist level. Earl whispered, "Hog." 3 seconds, and a whisper can kill your heartbeat. But it wasn't a hog. The dots just floated there, not moving. Perfectly spaced, one on each side of the cut, at the exact same height. Then a slow blink, gone. A little farther down, blink, back again, and again. Like someone had nailed lightning bugs along the road, one after the other. We stopped. Tuck put away the thermal and pulled out his night vision monocle. With NV everything goes gray, flat, like looking at a lynx in a zoo through glass. He handed it to me. I lifted it, and saw the eyes were strips of foil, hammered into the pine trunks with nails. Foil flashing back our light like fish scales. Each strip nailed at a level, step after step, like rungs of a ladder. Ladders somebody had built to climb. "Who the hell's putting ladders every 15 yards, Earl muttered. "Game warden? No way." You'll ask, why foil? So at night you can see the steps. Drop your flashlight, the glint helps you find where to climb. Folks build ladder, stands for deer, out of busted pallets. But nobody was supposed to hunt Plum Creek, and the spacing was too damn perfect. Then from the brush on the right came a sound I knew in my bones. We've chased hogs enough. You know the grunt they make when they catch your scent. But this wasn't that grunt. It was a baby crying, high-pitched, short, like somebody squeezing a little horn. "Predator call," Tuck whispered. "Coyote pup. Somebody's running bait." We knew about electronic calls. Somebody out there had a coyote pup in distress track playing, to draw in hunters. But why the ladders? Climbing and calling? Sweat was dripping down my back. In moments like that, you realize every trunk around you is 1,000 eyes, and they hear you breathe the night through your nose. "Let's go," Earl said. "Don't like this. This ain't our people." I slid behind the wheel, flipped the parking lights. And just my luck, the brights flicked on. In the same second, from the left ladder came the sound of something heavy sliding down, like a grain sack dropped. We didn't see it, just heard the thud and a short grunt. Footsteps. 1, 2, 3. vanishing into the horsetail brush. From the other ladder, nothing. Earl racked the Remington. Silence dropped thicker than the air. Down here you learn 1,000 silences. This one was church quiet, right before the pastor says, "Let us bow our heads." We pulled out. I eased the Chevy slow, wheels in the ruts, already imagining how we'd spin this into a Waffle House joke tomorrow. But when we hit County Road, it wasn't sight. It was sound. The CB crackled on Channel 19. We always keep it running. Breaker 19, truckers, jokes, radar chatter. Static, then a voice. "Hey, Zach, don't do anything stupid. Let's go." It was me. My voice, dead on. I damn near jerked the wheel off. 3 seconds of silence. Earl stared at me like I'd grown horns. "Somebody's piggybacking our scanner," Tuck whispered. Or... He didn't finish. I don't buy into all the Georgia backwoods commando horror stories, but ice crawled up my arm. Because the voice whistled again, like through a straw, and repeated, "Hey, Zach, don't do anything stupid." Then a click, like someone covering a mic with their palm. Somebody real close to our black box had just repeated what I'd said inside the cab a minute earlier. We hadn't keyed the mic. It was scanning, but I never touched the button. Someone nearby echoed us. From that moment, everything we did was automatic. Back on pavement, killed the lights, rolled to a stop sign, stepped out to piss in the ditch, climbed back in, silent. I dropped the boys at their trailers and headed home. 7-minute drive, but that night it stretched into 30. I drove like blue lights were chasing me, but nobody was. Just cicadas screaming, the glow from the church across the road, and Jackson's mutt barking at shadows like always. Everything ordinary, until I stepped onto my porch. What I saw first was foil, a little square, thumbtacked to the post at chest height. I just stood there like an idiot, keys in hand, watching it twitch against my house. "Turn your head," the foil whispers. Another piece lower down, another at the back door. They hadn't been there that morning. Not yesterday. Somebody had circled my trailer while we were gone and built me a ladder. That's when I learned how loud a heart can beat. Loud enough that your hands reach for a shotgun on their own. I'm not a coward, but in that second I almost called Sheriff Hale, and didn't, because I could already see his face, saying, "Hell, Zach, you tacked those up yourself." I peeled the foil off slow, like ripping duct tape off hair, tiny scars left in the wood. Swept the yard with a flashlight. Nothing. Grabbed my old Louisville Slugger off the porch, talked myself into going inside. A trailer at night smells like carpet, stale beer, dust. I threw the deadbolt, cracked a bud, chugged it. That's when the CB woke again. Same channel, same static. My voice. "You nailed those up yourself, Zach." And a scrape, like someone running a finger across the radiator. I stumbled back. I was alone in that house. Radio hanging on the wall, cord slack. I yanked the plug. Dead silence. Even now I don't know. Skip, echo, some joker patched into our line? Old Cobras can pull truckers from Texas in a thunderstorm, but this was too sharp, too exact, too mean. You could hear hate in it, my own voice spitting my name like it wanted me gone. I didn't sleep till dawn. Sat with the shotgun across my knees, eyes on the door, like a tourist watching surveillance footage. 4 a.m. fog settled low, and I dug out my old deer call, a little tube we used to grunt does in. Dumb idea hit me. Maybe the predator call out there was a signal. I blew it twice, soft, nothing. Blew again, and heard someone outside, shifting their weight in ankle-deep grass. I edged to the blinds, through the slats, nothing, until someone raised something slowly, held it to the window, a square of foil, like a mask, held it steady, then lowered it. You ever hear folks say, "Look straight at fear, it'll back down"? They never lived in Lowndes County. Out here fear lives under the porch, in the mud you step into barefoot. I stood till sunrise, walked the dog, found prints out back, not hog, not human, big, flat, smooth like glass soles. Tractor Supply sells size 14 rubber boots, but these prints, They ended just a few yards out, swallowed by the grass. If you made it all the way to the end, then you're exactly the kind of person I'm looking for. Hit that subscribe button. It really means a lot to me. I hope I can keep bringing you more stories, to make you smile, or maybe, to scare you.